Hey, what's up? It's Comic95 the Savior, and I just wanted to make this video because I saw something that really made me think about myself, and it was the fact that I got a comment from somebody that was basically asking me for advice on how they should go about doing things with moving around here in Tokyo. They were like, well, where should I live in Tokyo? I don't know what city I should go to. And they were telling me how they had a friend of theirs that went to this particular area in Japan, and they lived there and they didn't like it, and that they were contemplating, should I go back to my home country? Should I move to this other place that I saw that someone else recommended? What do you think I should go in? And they were like, where do you think I should go in? And I couldn't help but think to myself, I won't say I really did what this person did per se, but I've had those thoughts before. And what I really want to get at is, you cannot go based off of what other people have done. And that includes myself. And I try to say that to people all the time because I understand that you're scared. You don't know what you're doing. You might be new to Japan entirely. You might have just gotten here and you've only been here for a year or two, or whatever the case is. And the reason why I'm saying this is you think that by listening to what other people have done, watching what other people are doing, it's going to help you make your own decision. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And so this is where this kind of ties back into my own experience. When I first came to Japan, really before I came, I kept constantly seeing people say, Osaka is better than Tokyo. Osaka is better than Tokyo. Go to Osaka. Osaka is more fun. Something to do in Osaka. Osaka, 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 Osaka. All I saw, Osaka, was stuck in my mind, and didn't help that whenever I watch black YouTubers, they really told you about how much better Osaka is for people of color. Well, Asians are people of color too, but you get what I'm trying to say. Black people. So it's I felt like I needed to be there. But in my heart, I wanted to experience Tokyo first. This is what, really made me fall in love with Japan. And after living here, I felt that I liked Kyoto more because it was cool. It was so different from Tokyo. It was nature, it was mountains. This is what I saw when I first wanted to go to Japan. So don't get me wrong, there's things to like about both places, and this is not me trying to flood you with my opinion and make you feel like you need to go to Tokyo. I literally did an entire video on why Kansai is a better choice for a lot of people. But I want to tell you that there's no way to put this that you're gonna like it, but it's the truth. You have to experience Japan for yourself. Everyone's opinion on everything in Japan is completely different, and this is why I tell people, a lot of people don't understand when they watch my content. They think this is just me ragging and hating on Japan and telling them, oh my god, Japan's the best place in the world, don't move here, don't live here, don't work here. I said this countless times before, but people have selective hearing, people are new. Guys, if Japan was an awful, horrible, bad place, why would my big black ass still be here nearly 10 years later? Think about that. I'm an American. I'm not from some poor third world middle of nowhere country. I can easily take my ass on a plane and go back home. I'm not poor, believe it. I just got my hair perfectly in my mouth. I'm not poor, believe it or not. I'm not that poor, believe it or not, okay? So it's I don't hate Japan. My goal is to journal. I said this before. And when people write inside their journal, you don't write, oh my god, my life is so perfect. All the boys love me. He tickled my pussy. Nobody writes like that. Instead, people write inside their journal the things that make them sad, that make them angry, the things that make them feel bad, things that you have difficulty expressing to other people. And my goal isn't just to express things that I can express to other people, but it's also a matter of showing you a side that other people don't normally show you. My experience is so different from many other people, not just because I'm black, not just because of who I am, but because I'm living a different life. Things that happen to me might not happen to you. It's not just because I'm black. It's not just because I'm a woman. It's not just because, I'm on the lighter side. It has nothing to do with that. It's just life. You could have two dark-skinned black people from the exact same country have polar opposite experiences here in Japan. In fact, it happens all the time. I've had plenty of friends that were dark-skinned. They were convinced people just don't want them. They can't get married because of their complexion. And I'm actually, when I think of the black people that are married in Japan, almost all of them happen to have dark skin, ironically. And so this is not to say that, we're not going to get into that whole back can of worms, whatever. I'm not trying to let that shit out. We're not going to talk about that right now. My point is just to say, one person's experience is not the other person's experience. Colorism does exist. It does play a role, and I ain't gonna sugarcoat and lie to you. Things are definitely much harder in Japan for dark-skinned women. I'm not gonna cap. I'm keeping it real. But I will say, You cannot look at somebody that looks like you and say, oh, well, because she's black, or because she's black and she's dark and she's from this country like me, my experience is going to be just like hers. Or because she looks this way and she's from this country and she likes that, I'm going to like that too, so I should move where she is. And you might very much indeed love where they are, just like how they do. And you might happen to also look the same. But you have to remember, that's not the reason why. Your experience just happens to be the same. You ever been to a restaurant that was like really like overrated and everybody really loved it, and you went through like, it just wasn't a good experience for me. The food wasn't good, the staff, the wait staff was rude. It's not necessarily that the staff is bad at the place, but the food is bad, and you just went on a bad day. You had a bad experience from the wait staff. You had a bad chef cook your food, and your experience was bad, and that's all you could think of when you think of that place. It doesn't make the whole restaurant bad. Your experience is just bad. My favorite ramen place is Sujita. I cannot believe I went and looked at the reviews, and there's tons of people that, they have almost 5 stars, don't get me wrong, but there's tons of people that gave them 1-star reviews, 2 stars. People were saying stuff like, oh, the soup doesn't taste good, it's whatever, oh, the noodles, bitch, it's the best ramen I've ever had in my goddamn life, excuse my language. But again, this is what I'm talking about. You can literally go to the same place at the same time and have 2 polar opposite experiences. We could have eaten ramen from the exact same batch, and you thought yours was bad and I thought mine was fucking delicious. So, sorry y'all, let me stop cursing. So like, you see what I'm trying to say? This is how real life is too. One person that hates the countryside, like me, might absolutely love it. Now for me, my reason for liking the countryside is I can't handle bugs. I don't want no gigantic spider that I gotta try to shimmy into a dustpan or some shit to get out my house, because if I were to smash it, it's gonna scream and squirt blood everywhere and intestines and shit popping out in the air. I can't handle that, alright? I would literally call 911 and ask them to please help me move my stuff out of my house so I can move back to the city. I concrete jungle me up, alright? I'm gonna make a whole video talking about that later on. But this is my preference. You might effing love bugs. You might love the countryside. You might love the fresh air, the nature, being able to see the stars at night. That's just not me, okay? If I'm gonna die from, I don't know, carbon monoxide poisoning, and my lungs gonna be all cloudy and smoked up, and God forbid I get cancer or something crazy like that, I'm not trying to speak that over myself, God protect me, but then just so be it. I'm not living in the countryside. Absolutely not, okay? So, my point of purpose in saying this to you is, you cannot go based off of what other people like. You have to go out there and live your own life, make your own mistakes, and experience things for yourself. Quit trying to run to YouTube, run to me, run to other people for help. Now, don't get me wrong. It's good to listen to people and get wisdom and get insight and get some inspiration to make your own decisions and get ideas for yourself. But do not sit there with no pen and paper like, okay, I should move to this city, this town. Don't be friends with this person. Don't work for that company. No, make your own decisions. Think for yourself. I said this before, and it'll probably drive people, well, not drive people crazy, but make people scratch their head like, huh? As much as I would love to crap on my job that I talked about when I was working at OSAC, I'm not even going to say the company's name. You can look at my channel and find it. I would love to crap on that school. But I have to be honest with myself. It was the best school I ever worked for. It was. I loved my job. I loved my students. It was everything I could have. Sorry, I just got a text message. It was everything I could have asked for and more. It was all I ever wanted. It was exactly what I needed. I was happy. They treated me like trash after I left. They ran my name through the mud. They got people thinking stuff that I never did, that I'm not. Ruined my reputation in that city. That's just facts. However, at the same time, I have to acknowledge the fact that I liked working there. My feelings aside from how they treated me after I was no longer working there, and while I was there, to be honest, they treated me like trash while I was there. But I still liked my job because I wasn't focused on what staff members thought or, trying to be a people pleaser or whatever. I was there to get paid, and I got paid, okay? And they helped me out. I'll be real with myself. They helped me out career-wise. They helped me out financially. I'm appreciative of them. But at the same time, I will not lie and say, oh, stay away from this company. Never work for them. My experience was bad. Yours might be wonderful. it doesn't take away from my experience. I'm not saying that what I said wasn't true, that I didn't have, a bad experience there. But I have to recognize that what I did not like, you might love. And you have to remember that things that I like, you might absolutely hate. Everyone has their own taste, and it doesn't just go for food. It goes for people that we date. It goes to places that we live, places that we work, etc. So again, it's not bad to look for information, to listen to people that are wiser than you. The Bible tells you that only a fool learns from his own mistakes, but a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. So again, not to contradict myself, what I'm trying to say is, yes, of course, you should be wise. Listen to what other people did wrong. But there's a difference between learning from other people's mistakes and then not really being an adult and going out there. I mean, you have to make your own to a certain degree. I'm not saying to purposefully do dumb stuff and stick your fingers in your ears, la 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 la, and just do whatever you want to do and then let things F up and be like, oh crap, I shouldn't have done that. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I am trying to say is, you cannot think that other people can make certain decisions for you. That's one of those things. You can get ideas for you want to live. Like, for example, I'll tell you right now, if you're afraid of bugs, you might love the countryside. I thought I wanted to live there too. It was a nice, different life. But when you realize there's a few issues that you're going to come across, for example, you're going to have to walk really far to get to any sort of store to buy crap. You have limited stores to shop at. They normally have, groceries and crap that's about to expire. There's not much to choose from. When it comes to dating, your options are very, very, small. You don't have a lot of options and opportunities to make friends. You are really going to constantly be stared at. Everybody knows everything about everyone in the community. There's no privacy. There's lots of issues that you have living in the countryside, okay? And your experience is going to be very subjective. Especially if you're inside something like the JET program. And I don't want to hear JETs, oh my god, they always get mad when I talk about this. But let me just keep it real with you. Depending on who you are and your experience, you might absolutely love it or you might absolutely hate it. If you are lucky and you have good people to work with, etc., and they like you, they accept you, they welcome you, you're going to love your experience. If you're like me and everybody hates you, then you're going to hate your experience there, okay? Because now you don't have any outlets, no opportunities to get out. You're stuck around people that don't like you in a place where you don't really know anybody, where you can't really understand the language, etc. It's just not a good idea to me. And that's why, like I said before, I'll always recommend that people start off in Tokyo. From Tokyo, you get the experience that you need to go branch out and do your own thing, learn more Japanese, learn more about Japan, etc. And I said this before, do not confuse Japanese language ability with Japanese culture. I cannot tell you how many people that I know that can speak Japanese at an N1, N2, N3 level. But when it comes to Japanese culture, they know nothing. All they can tell you is, oh yeah, don't stick your chopsticks inside of your rice. But it's like, okay, do you know other cultural, they don't know random, just little things. I don't even think about that. I haven't even thought about, oh, I should make a video on this topic. But I've learned to do both from living here and from reading about it. You're not going to learn that inside of a language class, okay? You need real life experience. You need to read real books. That's life for you, so there's just, I can go on about this forever. All I'm really trying to say is, I'm glad and I appreciate the fact that you guys look to me for wisdom, for inspiration, for ideas, for whatever, and I will answer your questions. But I will say, in all honesty, just giving a blanket general answer, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to coming to Japan. What one person loves, another will hate. One person hates, one person loves, another will hate. One person hates, another will love. You simply cannot have a one-size-fits-all approach to being here in Japan. It's just not going to happen. We all like and want different things. Same thing goes for companies. Some people just absolutely hate working with kids. Others love it. And when I say kids, I mean little kids. Some people prefer to, deal with teenagers, adults, etc. Other people prefer to deal with babies. Other people prefer to deal with toddlers. Other people prefer to deal with elementary school age kids. We all like and feel comfortable doing different things. Some people hate being a teacher altogether. Others think they hate being a teacher, but they just don't like teaching the age group that they were teaching. For example, you might hate dealing with babies, but you would actually like being a junior high school teacher. You might hate dealing with high schoolers, but you might prefer being a kindergarten teacher. You might hate doing kindergarten at a typical traditional Japanese school where you gotta be a circus clown with the kids, but you like an environment where you can be a relaxed teacher, where your job is just to supervise the kids, print off worksheets, explain how to do them. Simple stuff like that. It totally depends on what environment you like. All international schools are not the same. All public schools are not the same. It totally depends on the job. It totally depends on the company, who your coworkers are, who your managers are. All of those environments are very much indeed different. Working for a private school versus a chain school, for example, working at a company like Kids Duo is not going to be the same as working for a mom and pop, international school. It's also not going to be the same as working at an IB school. You really, really, really have to understand this, and a lot of people don't get to that point. They come to Japan, they live in a city that they don't like, they go back to their home country. They come to Japan, they work for a company that they don't like, they go back to their home country. They give up. They don't even bother with it. So, and you're okay to do that too. It's your life. Your life is limited. Don't waste years and years being here to try to prove a point. But do recognize and understand, if being in Japan is truly your dream, and you want to tough it out like how I did, get up and move. You are never stuck anywhere. If you don't like where you are, get up and go where you want to be. You can make it happen. Save the money. Change the job. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. I've been in Japan with no utilities. I've been in Japan with no job. I made it happen. Do what you have to do to get where you want to go. Do what you have to do to make yourself happy. And if you do have to go back to your home country for some time, you can always come back. Japan is not going anywhere, I promise you. So, yeah, I feel really sorry for people that, feel like they have to do everything perfectly. Because I promise you, trying to do everything perfectly your first go in Japan is the quickest way to make sure you F everything up. Because it's not going to all go perfect. You might have this whole plan written out on how you expect things to go, where you want to be, what you want to buy, where you want to live, and it's not going to work out the way that you want it to. It really is not. And you'll learn a lot. Like, for example, when I first lived here, I thought that finding a cheap place was a great deal. And then I quickly learned, there's a reason why that Shibuya apartment is $800 a month. There's a reason why that apartment is $2,000 a month. Now I understand why the prices are so different in the same neighborhood. Okay? So there's a lot for you to, think about and consider. And it's okay to make a mistake. It happens. Almost every foreigner living here has been inside of that crappy apartment before, has been inside of a share house before. We've all had to work our way up. A lot of foreigners have been here 10, 20 years and have never experienced living in a nice apartment. Some people just don't care about where they live. Some people love the countryside and can't stand the idea of living in an apartment. They love to live inside of a nice, brand new house. It's just not for me. Because for me, it's like, I don't even just care about the bugs being in my house. I do not want to go outside and see 8 giant eyes staring at me. I would have nightmares for the rest of my life. I can't handle that, okay? So, yeah. That's pretty much it, you all. All I have to say is this. You really, really, really do not need to worry about trying to do everything perfectly. Because it's not going to all go perfect. And I'm not saying that to curse you or make you feel bad. I'm just trying to let you know that my life wasn't perfect when I got here. And it's not just me. The difference between me and other people is a few things. 1, I tell you guys and show you guys the crap that I've been through. 2, a lot of people that come to Japan honestly have money. And they can afford to avoid a lot of the mistakes that I've made. They have family to fall back onto. I now have a spouse, but I didn't used to have one. They have a spouse that pays for everything for them. So a lot of the problems that I have, they never have to really worry about, think about, whatever. There's always someone doing everything for them. And this isn't to bash them. I'm just explaining why you think your life is crap and other people's aren't. And that's just why, you shouldn't compare yourself to other people. You don't know what they did to get themselves where they are. You don't know what they've been through. People might look at me and be like, you don't deserve X, Y, and Z, whatever. And it's like, no, you have no idea the crap that I've been through to get where I am, okay? I definitely deserve what I have. I worked my way up to get to where I am, alright? So, that's all I want to say. Like, just do what you can where you are to get yourself to where you want to be. And if you make a mistake, you have to start over again, that's okay too. You don't have to tell everybody all your mistakes and everything you do, like how I'm doing. You don't have to do that. You can keep things to yourself. But to be honest, it feels good to share your hard times, your troubles with other people. For some people watching my content, like even my family, they think that I'm crazy. Like, why would you share these things about yourself? But that's the purpose. I spent my whole life trying to pretend like I'm this perfect person. I've done no wrong. Everything in my life is grand. I'm rich. I have things that I don't have. And all this really did was make me sad and miserable. Because I feel like I I can't relate to anybody. But honestly, I feel so empowered and powerful sharing my story, sharing my bad situations that I've had, giving people advice to help you avoid a lot of the crap that I've gone through. That's a big part of my channel. I'm just sharing this to vent and rant. I hope that I can help you avoid some of the things that I've been through, within reason, of course. For example, you can watch all my videos on dating and you'll still end up dating an F-boy. That's the purpose. Now that you have the wisdom that I've given you, you can recognize, this is the F-boy. Ren warned me about this before. I know what's going on right now. Instead of being like, oh my God, he loved me, I'm gonna fuck him. Okay? That's the purpose in it. Now, sometimes you gotta learn the hard way. You might have taken my advice and been like, well, I think this guy is different. I'm gonna fuck him anyway, okay? And then you're gonna learn. Life happens. That's just the way it goes. Sometimes you have to learn from your own mistakes. Sometimes we truly, genuinely get tricked. So yeah, the purpose in this is, I want to show you that I'm human. What you're going through, you are not alone. You're not the only person that's been through the stuff that you've gone through. You're not. You're not the first, you're not the last, you're not the only. That's the purpose. Don't spend your whole life being paranoid trying to avoid making mistakes, because you're going to make them. Use wisdom, listen to what other people have to say. Take their advice with a grain of salt, though. Some people like things, some people don't. Think about what you like. For example, if you're listening to me, like I said before, and you decide, I don't think I can deal with bugs, then yes, maybe you should take my advice and choose to live in the city. You can always visit the countryside. You can even stay and have a little, mini weekend getaway vacation there. You can do that. Japan ain't that damn big. You can go across the entire country within, the span of just, 5-6 hours. Go from one end to the other. It's possible. But you have to remember, and you have to decide that this is your life. You cannot let your friends or your family dictate and help you decide where you're going to move, because they do not know what is best for you. They can only make suggestions. I don't know what's best for you. I can only make a suggestion. You know what you do or don't like. And if you're like, I really don't know, I'm not bothered by bugs, I do like the city, then guess what? You ever thought about it? Why not try out both? So many people have this idea in their mind where it's like, when I come to Japan, the first place that I get is the last place that I'm going to get. I have to be able to stay there for 5, 10 years, 3 years, whatever. It's like, you could just live inside of a crappy place for a short period of time. And then after you decide, do I really want to live here or not? Then you can decide to move to whichever city you prefer, country, or, big metropolis type place. And also, you don't have to bring everything with you when you first come here. You can literally box up your stuff and have it, labeled and everything. And when you're ready to receive it, have your parents send it to you in Japan. Is it going to cost a little bit of money? Yeah, you're going to probably spend anywhere from $200 to $1,000+. But it'll be worth it if those things are of value to you. And it'll save you the headache. Because when you're ready to move, you're not going to have to pay for, the 0, 1, 2, 3 and crap like that to have them move your stuff for you. You'll have maybe, 2 bags and a box to send to your new place. Instead of having multiple boxes and large computers and furniture and tons of clothes, you don't need all of that stuff. Most Japanese people don't have that much stuff. So, yes, people make the mistake all the time, bringing too much when they come to Japan just to have to send it all back or having to throw away stuff. Don't do that. Allow yourself to get comfortable here. Allow yourself to make mistakes here. Allow yourself to decide what you do or don't want. Living in the country seemed fun and cool for me for a moment. It was fun being in Kyoto and taking pictures, etc. And then it got old. And then I missed the convenience of being able to walk outside and have a store just a couple minutes away, being able to choose between 7-Eleven, Lawson's, Family Mart, etc. Instead of it being where, the closest 7-Eleven is 10 or 15 minutes away, which doesn't sound far. But when you live in Tokyo, a 10-minute walk to a convenience store, your rent finna be cheap. 10-minute walk to the train station, your rent finna be cheap, okay? That's not close. As an American, I didn't have a full understanding of that. Because to me, it's like, man, the convenience store just 10 minutes away? Sounds pretty damn good, alright? But no, in Japan, that's far. Same thing goes with grocery stores, train stations, etc. For me, just having, a 10-minute walk to the train station was good. In Japan, it's borderline bad. Once you get beyond the 10-minute walk, It's not good. And plus, FYI, I'll make a video about this later too. Anytime you're reading real estate listings, if it says it's 10 minutes away, it's more like about 13 to 15 minutes away. They can get away with these little white lies and exaggerate. If it says, oh, it's a 2-minute walk from the train station, it's about 5 minutes. So, yeah. That's really it, you all. I wish you the best of luck coming here to Japan, but don't let people scare you out of coming here and make you think that you're going to like what they like because they like it or because they look like you. Because just because somebody looks like you doesn't mean you're going to have the same experience as they do. And keep in mind, a lot of times, people oftentimes think that because something worked for them, it's going to work for you. So they mean well. They're not trying to mislead you, misguide you, or whatever. But it's not enough to even look at somebody, oh, they're black like me. Do you look like them physically? Are you the same height as them, the same weight as them? You have the same face as them? You're from the same country as them? You speak the same have the same accent as them? You have the same education as them? Do you make the same money that they do? There's a lot for you to consider. So, that's it, you all. Again, life is scary. You have to make mistakes. You have to put yourself out there. I know it sucks. It hurts. I'm going to tell you something completely different, but I'm being honest with you. You have to make some of your own mistakes. Listen to advice from people that are wiser than you, people that have experiences that you do not have. But you have to recognize that nobody can answer the question of where you should live. Half of us will be right and half of us will be wrong. That's that. I have friends that love being in ALT. I have friends that love the countryside, and I hate both. Okay? I know people that hate teaching children. I know people that hate being at an international school. I know people that hate living in the city. I would advise totally different if I were telling them what to do. But that's just it. I'm telling you what makes me feel comfortable. What makes you feel comfortable might be very different. So, and then even with housing, the old me, I felt that it made more sense to spend less money on your housing and more money going out. But now that I'm older, I'm like, I spend most of my time at home. I want a nice place to come back home to. I like not having to worry about bugs inside of my place. For me, it is 150% worth the extra money to pay per month in rent to make sure I don't have to deal with seeing spiders, roaches, or anything else crazy like that. For you, this might be absolutely absurd. $2,000 for rent. Everybody has their own. That's fun. The broom was performed. Broom. Sorry. Anyway, back on subject. But yeah, it's like what I like and what I think is worth spending extra money on. You might think this is an absolutely horrible idea. I would never want to do that. So that's it, you guys. I can go on ranting about this forever. All I want to say is, I wish you the best of luck. Please. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't feel like because your experience in Japan, your first month, your first year was bad, this is how all of Japan is. Just get up and move. Go to another city. Work another job. Get another relationship. Move on with your life. Don't let one bad experience knock you down and make you feel, oh my god, I gotta kill myself, I hate life, whatever. I was there recently. I can't make it real. I was there recently. But you have to remind yourself and remember the beautiful, wonderful things in life. In fact, the best thing about life is that I see it as like a game of Splatoon, okay? I got this scenario from my husband because he was just playing it this morning. I was watching him play the game, and when you're playing Splatoon, I'm gonna call it both, okay? When you're watching this game and it looks like one team, you just know that team is going to win, and at the last 5 seconds the game can completely flip and you win. That's what life is like. Everything can be going in your favor. You're winning in life. And you have one little bump at the end of that year, end of that month, end of that day, and it just changes everything for you. And that's exactly what happened to me. And I just want to tell you that after that little bump was a lot more bumps for quite some time. And before I knew it, I'm married. I could have never imagined that happening. But it did. You need to remember that your life is the exact same way. Everything can be going really, really bad and you think you're losing in life. And at the very last 5-10 seconds of your game, the tables turn, and now you're winning. That's why you shouldn't give up on life. If I did the things that I wanted to do now 7 years ago, or 6 years ago actually, I tried to kill myself here in Japan. And I have no idea why no one ever contacted me actually. But I shared the story a little bit before, and I'm going to talk about it again really quickly now in the video there. I was so stupid. I really love this guy that I was dating that I literally just met 2 seconds ago, you all. Stupid 21-year-old me, okay? Have some mercy on me. I thought I was mature, but I was not. And I cringed thinking back on this. But I went online and I bought myself a bunch of sleeping pills. Like a lot. And I bought myself a bunch of alcohol. And my goal was to go out the classic style. I actually unfriended all of my family on Facebook. I blocked and unfriended them on Instagram. I made my accounts private. And my goal was to eat and, smash buddy's sleeping pills, mix them into my alcohol, drink the powder, whatever I was going to do with that, and then drink a bunch of alcohol to wash it down. And I wanted it to kill me. I waited for that package to come, and it never came. I wasted about $300 or $400 down the drain, and student loan money. Okay? I cried my eyes out to my best friend in Japan at that time, and I know she wanted to slap the shit out of me. I had a whole boo-hoo. I'm okay with dying because I finally know what love is, and I'm just happy that I had the opportunity to love him. I'm not even exaggerating to you all. Like, if somebody had out a camera and recorded what I said and what I did, y'all would be laughing your ass off. Like, Ren, you said that? Damn, you an idiot. Yep, that's me. And that's how I'm able to make these videos that I do. That's why I talk the way that I do. If people get offended and hurt over whatever, it's I'm talking about myself when I'm talking to you all. When I'm calling you dumb and I'm calling you a hoe, I'm saying all type of shit, I'm talking about me. I've been there. I've done it. It's tough love. I'm speaking from personal experience. You think that I just don't understand. And you're like, oh, you just don't understand how I feel about this person. He's so different. No, I know exactly how you feel because I was probably dumber than you're being right now. I know. And my point is, if I were able to do what I wanted to do, if God allowed that to happen, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't have any of the videos. None of the help that you all have gotten from me wouldn't have even existed. Most of you would have never known about me because at that time, did I even have 500 subscribers? I didn't have 1,000. So more than half of you weren't even here. Okay? That's my point. We think that life is over because things don't go our way, or we didn't get what we wanted to have. And I was hurt because I found an apartment in Sendagaya for $800 or 80,000 yen, and it got snatched up from me before I could even rent it. I didn't even have enough money for it. I was stupid back then. I didn't realize all the fees and crap you got to pay for it. I didn't have a Honko stamp. I didn't have no bank account. It wouldn't have been possible for me. I was so stupid back then. I was asking them if it was possible for me to have a full-size oven in my apartment if I paid for it. I was that dumb, y'all. and there was stuff under the real estate agent. She actually asked, and I said that it was okay. But they were probably thinking, this chick must be filthy rich. And she was so ghetto, y'all. She actually did ask that. She was like, what do your parents do for a living? But, I'm thinking, this is student loan money, baby. But, yeah, that's my point. You think the life is over because you're losing right now. And it's not over. Or you think the life is over because you don't see a possible way. How can I win at this? I don't have enough money. I don't have whatever. And it's it sounds so cliche. Oh, if you just put your mind to it. But no, it really is true. That's how I got to Japan in the first place. There was no way for me to get here. I was so happy about it. And it was so crazy because, I thought that I had a really original idea. And then I found out there's a whole side of YouTube of people talking about Japan. people want to do this. Like, it's not just me. I never heard of people moving across the world to go live in Japan. And, you know, I didn't even think about moving to another country to live. I know about traveling and visiting, but I didn't know that this whole J-vlog community existed. And I spent all my time on YouTube. I just wasn't watching this shit. So I was shocked. And of course, now it's even more popular than it used to be when I first came here. You know, years have gone by. Anime has become even more popular. But, you know, I grew up in a time where anime was lame. So I was just so impressed and amazed. Like, wow, people really are like... I thought that I was the only weeb that had the idea after, like, watching anime and K-pop and shit. Like, wow, I want to live there. I thought that it was just me thinking about living in Korea or Japan. But nope, not an original idea at all. Stupid, you know, 18, 19-year-old me. So, yes, like, sometimes what we want is not the best thing. And it's the good things don't work out the way that we want them to. And if I went based off of how horrible my life was, all the times that things went bad, and I thought I wanted to end my life, and I felt suicidal and blah, blah, blah. If I walked out into those train tracks that day when I was talking to my mom on the phone, when I was practically homeless, I was living inside of a roach-infested apartment with, you know, no running water, and, well, no, I did have running water because that place the water was free, but I didn't want to use no roach water there, where I had, like, you know, no water, practically. I had no electricity, no gas, all of my utilities are turned off, and no privacy because it's a 2x2 apartment. If I allowed myself to go based off of the fact that I was losing at this point in my life, the things are bad for me at this point in my life, if I gave up then, because I thought this is the end, this is the best it's gonna get, I wouldn't have been able to see the future. I wouldn't have been able to see myself getting married. I wouldn't have been able to see myself with 1,000 subscribers. I wouldn't have gotten any of those goals that I had for myself, because I would have ended my life based off of the now. If you decide, wow, I came to Japan, but I made a mistake. This apartment is horrible, or I can't stand this share house, or I can't stand this job, or I don't have a boyfriend, or I don't have a girlfriend, or, you know, whatever the case is. If you go based off of what's happening right now, and you decide that life is over, now you're the loser. Because you never got to see what the future had in store for you. And I promise you it's good, as long as you want it to be good. It will not rain every day, just like how it won't be sunny every day. It feels like it's going to rain every day, but it's not. It's not. Ask the people in California. Okay, so it's like you have this mindset where you think the world is all about you, and where you think if you're not winning now, it'll never happen, and you think, oh, bad things always happen, whatever. And it's like, you have to take accountability too. You chose to live there. You chose to pay for, you know, get a rent that was too high than what you can afford. I made that mistake. You chose to work a job based off of the salary and not based off of how much you thought this position fit you. I've done that before. You dated a guy because he looked good and not because he treated you good. I've done that before. Take accountability for your own actions and think about what you're doing. Change it. I don't care if you have 6 years that are bad. Year 7 might have wonderful things in store for you. So just don't forget that. And so now I'm done. I'm making like a 40-minute video, you guys. So that's it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. I wish you the best of luck. If you have any, questions about where you should go in Japan, I'm not trying to discourage you from asking it. You can ask. But I just want to say, in all honesty, it really comes down to, what do you prefer? Do you like city or do you like countryside? And if you don't know, and it's okay if you don't know, experience both. Stay inside of a share house. Find a hostel, a cheap place to stay in temporarily. See if you like the area, the environment. If you can handle the bugs, you can handle the loud noise, etc. That will help you determine where you should stay at. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to decide you don't like Japan at all. You have time. I don't care if you're 20 watching this, 15, 12 watching this, 40, 60. As long as you're living, you have time. So that's it, you guys. Like I said, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, leave a comment down below. As always, you can follow me. All of my social media accounts are in the description box. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I hope you'll watch another video. Bye.